My name is Eric Sparrow.
My name is Cliff Clark.
And I'm Andrew Grider.
And we are Igniting Truth.
Thank you for tuning into episode 1 of Igniting Truth, where we're going to bring you the fire.
Bring the fire.
FIRE stands for fun, inspire, reignite, and educate. And those are our core fundamentals that we are going to make sure that we focus on while you hear any one of us speaking to you. This is about truth. This is about real, raw understanding of things that plague us in today's society, and us having the opportunity that we're humbled to have to come to you today and bring you our ignited truth. Today's episode, we are going to talk to you about who we are, so you have an understanding and you have background as to what motivates us, what fuels us, and what really ignites us to give you this truth that we speak of. With that being said, Andrew, tell us about yourself.
Hey, thanks, Eric. So my name's Andrew Grider. Y'all already all know me. I grew up in a military family, so I had the opportunity to live all over the world. Was born in Bury St. Edmunds, England, and well, of course, I'm living in Virginia now, which is awesome. I think where I got started with, I've always had a love for plants. I've always had a love for gardening. You could find me going around door knocking doors at 8 years old. You talk to my neighbors like, hey, man, what do you need? I'll pull your weeds, Going dig up your plants. That kind of stuff. I loved it.
Now, are we just pulling or was we smoking? Okay, just scratch that. Okay. That's awesome, though. I like that.
Yeah. No, not that kind of weed.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was legal in England or not. So, yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
okay.
I'm pretty sure it probably wasn't. But no, I got started when we were living in Maryland at the time. And during my high school years, before I graduated high school, I had 3 failed landscape companies. They all failed for different reasons. I learned a lot of things, and maybe in a different episode, we can get through the lessons I learned from those failed companies. But yeah, no, I just kept it up. I mean, that was my dream. I've always wanted to own my own landscaping company. So during high school, the last 2 years, I was going to the college engineering at Virginia Western Community College before I graduated. I graduated valedictorian from Catering High School. And then I went off to college to building construction and at Tech. And I did 2 years before dropping out. I started Southern Sun Landscaping. I started that in my second year of college. And the reason I went to college, I really didn't want to, but I think we all have people in our lives that we want to make proud. And that was the way I felt that I needed to go to make my parents happy. And it took a while. I was miserable. I was like I was good at my college classes, getting good grades. Like everybody's like, yeah, you're a smart dude. Like, yeah, why don't you finish up your college degree? But I was miserable. I had my 2 years of scholarship, and then I was like, done. I'm going to go pursue my dream full time. And so I started with a beat up pickup truck. I had $6,000 left in my savings account. I used all of it. I took my savings account, every single last dollar I had, bought a beat up, used 2006 Dodge Dakota. I mean, this thing was so bad. Every 50 miles, I pulled the thing over the side of the road, just let it sit because it would overheat. I had yard tools I fixed. I was so broke, I couldn't even afford a pair of ramps. So I had this riding mower from probably the early 2000s, late 90s that I fixed up, and I was so broke I couldn't even afford ramps to pick this thing up and just load that in the back of my pickup and drop down and push that thing up. But I don't know. I was just passionate about it. I wanted to do it. I just did it. There's nothing that was going to stop me. It doesn't matter if I had to go knock on 100, 200 doors in a single day and get to 100, 200 no's. I was going to keep knocking on those doors till I got those customers. That's literally how I got started. I was broke. When I started. I put everything in it. And I don't recommend everybody just like throw all your money away. I mean, everybody's circumstances are different, but I mean, that's what it did. And I haven't stopped. And it didn't take very long till I started winning awards for my company. It was officially founded in 2017, and we were winning awards as soon as 2018. Now we're not only recognized in the local news. I've been on the local news for numerous stories. I've also have two stories in the national news that I was used on, including the local 2022 tech report for the U.S. Lawn and Landscape magazine, which was pretty significant. We have commendations from the U.S. Congress, the Senate, as well as numerous awards from VASH, which I know we're going to talk about in our another episode coming up about Beautification Day, which we're excited to talk to you guys about volunteering and stuff like that. Nice. But I mean, it's just I think the biggest thing for me is like, you can't be doing your life for somebody else. You have to be doing it because you're passionate about it. So that's my biggest takeaway that I want to leave on this episode. So now not only do I own the landscaping company, I also own Southern Sun Sanitation, the CEO of Global Disinfecting. I own 0.25% of that company. I also serve as a senior executive sales for Integrity Property Management, one of my sister companies where we do a lot of commercial and government contracting, and Southern Sun Landscaping serves as a subcontractor for Integrity. And then I also serve as an instructor at Stilltoe University. And I also sit on the board of the Southwest Virginia Chamber of Commerce, along with Eric over here, where I oversee the mentor and protege programs. And so we're excited to bring a lot of change to Southwest Virginia. I think a lot of needed change.
Definitely.
And so, just starting my own company has afforded me so many opportunities to meet all these incredible people. Like, if you would have told me that like us three would be sitting here 5 years from now, I mean, hell, if you had told me that I would be driving a 2019 2500 that I've had modified and souped up, like that's what I'm driving right now. It's a beautiful truck. And if you had told me that I would be driving that 5 years from when I started my business, I would have been like, yeah, yo, you're crazy. Maybe after 20 years. But I mean, all it took was a dream, a passion, and just going all in. I was just,
that's awesome.
And I still have a lot of struggles. I'm facing my own business today. I mean, I'm in a different season of my business. I grew too fast and didn't leave the right people in charge. So now I'm backtracking. I'm dealing and overcoming a lot of challenges in my own business. But I think the biggest thing for me is that I don't care what's in my way. I will never quit. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I don't care how many 24-hour nighters that I have to do. And yeah, a lot of times it's unhealthy, but I'm not going to quit because I love what I do. I love creating businesses. I love creating systems. I love inspiring people. I love being able to provide job opportunities for other people. And I love working with other business community leaders to start changing the world, start changing how people think. And hopefully my goal is to leave a legacy, something that people can look up to and be like, damn, that's what that guy did. And they get inspired to do something similar. So, yeah.
That's good. That's powerful. That is powerful, bro. And congratulations. And what is it that you don't do?
What I don't do.
What
does that mean?
You do so much. And yep, I take my hat off to you for sure.
They don't do in their silence, right?
Right.
I don't know. I'm always open to try just about anything. You know me.
Definitely.
I mean, hell, I just went skydiving this year, which is awesome. And I had a buddy hit me up and he's like, hey man, let's do skydiving. I was like, yo, let's go. I want to try it.
Let's go for it. There you go. So that's what you call your 15-minute break.
Yes, 100%.
Like, yeah, I'm going to take a 15-minute break. I'm
going to just jump out of the plane. We're good here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's what it's all about. And yep, I'm definitely proud of you. And heck of a story. And I like something that you just said. You said never quit. So that's something very powerful to hold on to. Those two words, never quit.
Yeah.
If you can accomplish anything.
100%.
Outstanding.
Absolutely. So Cliff, give us a little, give us some insight on you and who you are.
Oh, who, me? Oh, goodness. I'm just a nobody, just trying to make it out here. But my name is Cliff. I'm Cliff Clark. I started my weight loss journey a little over 4 years ago now. The exact date was July the 2nd, 2018. That's something that definitely I hold dear to me because that's the turning point that I actually decided to change my life and live and not die. And along from that, I started a movement called Losing to Live. So I do have a nice following on Instagram. So I want to shout out to all of the followers. Thank you all for being so dedicated. And that definitely inspired me, motivated me, kept me accountable. That's one thing that I learned on this journey, being someone keeping you accountable is very huge. And that's what really gave me that extra motivation. Along the way, of course, meeting people. And one thing that I held on to my why was my children and my newly wife that I had just gotten married the year previous to that, starting that journey. So going into that, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself mentally, physically, spiritually. I began to see things a lot different and to really see things for what they really were. So that's pretty much a little about me in a nutshell. And Yep, that's me, Cliff Clark, losing the live. That's the movement.
I don't think that's enough. I know you don't like bragging, but brother, just tell the audience here like how much you lost. Because I mean, your story just whoa, like come on, like give me a little bit more about that. I mean, that's just,
gotcha.
That's powerful.
Altogether, I lost 320 pounds. Start since 2018, July the 2nd, 2018, and all of that was natural. I had planned possibly doing a surgery if that last time did not work, but thankfully, I'm afraid of knives in a way, but thankfully I wasn't able, I didn't have to take that route. And I was able to just really do it the natural way, focusing on a ketogenic diet, along with low carb. And I did that for 2 years straight. My first year, I dropped 182 pounds. And then of course, after that second year, it started slowing down. So I had to just change the course of everything. And that's when I started practicing low carb and just kind of dip and dabbling because, of course, in that process, I decided to go through the school and became a certified personal trainer. So then I had to really play along with it as well because I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was talking about whenever I trained someone, whether that was on physical fitness or nutrition. So I made sure that I got those certification and was the guinea pig on top of that to make sure that I was giving accurate information. Thankfully, with that, not too long ago, a little over a couple of months ago now, I was able to team up with my bro here, Eric Sparrow, and we was able to purchase a gym called Empower Fitness. And Empower Fitness it's all about just motivating people, really just pushing power on all different levels. Like when it comes to motivating in power, motivating in love, motivating in education. It's just so many different areas that you can run with it. And we have built a atmosphere where people can freely work out, freely be who they are and be motivated and motivate other people in the process. So I'm very thankful, to have a great business partner to start that movement with. And we're looking forward to just doing many other things.
Yeah, no, I love your gym. I think the best thing about it is it's truly 24 hours. Like there's not a whole lot of gyms that, someone that's busy like myself can go work out at 2, 3 in the morning. So yeah.
I see you on the camera sometime. You're definitely going in. Yeah. So awesome. You're keeping me accountable too. Yeah. Cause I was like, you know what? I was going to skip the day, but it's 3 now. Let me get up and go ahead and do these squats. Yeah. Well, enough about me. We've heard about you, your wonderful story. But now I want to hear from the man of the hour. No, just kidding. I definitely want to hear from Eric. And Eric, I want you to introduce, I know all about you, but I want you to introduce yourself to the world.
You know what? Speaking about me is what you all have already spoken about, because a big part of me is the individuals that I sit at this table with. Hearing your stories, hearing what makes you who you are, it empowers me, like right on your shirt right there. It empowers me to be who I am. I get energy. I get confidence in hearing those different things. So I appreciate hearing that from each of you, what makes you who you are and why you do what you do. About myself, I was in a major car accident in 2003 where a drunk driver was coming to the opposite side of the road. And I hit a patch of black ice hitting on my brakes, and I slammed right into a tree coming down Sugarloaf Mountain. And when I hit, the impact was so hard that I severed a majority of my tongue. I was paralyzed from the waist down. And when I woke up in the hospital, and I remember flashes of having needles in my mouth, clamps, and everything to sew back on my tongue. The days after, they told me that I would regain the ability to walk, which I did, but they said that I would never speak with clarity again, and that it was a long road. It was a tough road, but I had to be dedicated and committed to going to different speech therapies, different things of those that magnitude. What happened was, I then was bedridden. I was getting food through a tube. I lost over 20 to 30 pounds. And I'm a slender guy myself already. But, the thing that happened, though, is it sidelined me long enough to realize what was important in life. And it makes every word that I speak more valuable because I can speak with clarity what people said that I couldn't or shouldn't or wouldn't do. It helps me to rationalize better things that are negative to what's positive, knowing that I have this opportunity again to speak to others about things that may plague them, and knowing what I overcame, it enables me to know how to speak to others about things. So I could speak about many accolades that I've had in my life since then, but that is the moment that I realized how valuable and important it is in life to find out who you are, stick to that, motivate yourself in order to help and motivate others, because you can't be good for anybody else if you're not good for yourself.
Wow, that's powerful.
So that in itself is what motivated me, and still to this day motivates me. There's a part of my tongue that I still can't taste with, but it reminds me of where I've come from. Wow. And it enables me to keep my mind focused on where I need to go. So that also turned me into being a motivational speaker, a life coach, being, co-owner of a gym, of Empower, motivating. Those are different things that if I didn't have that lowest point in my life, I wouldn't know how to claw and scratch my way up to where I am today. That is me. And that is what has made me who I am. And I get chills still thinking about it because I know of the road that I had to take. I remember every stitch as it came out of my tongue. And I am so thankful today that I can even be here to speak on where I've come from and be at this table with you all.
Wow. Yeah. And I think that if anybody's ever had the opportunity to hear you speak, I mean, it will give you chills. I mean, you spoke at the grand opening for Empowered. I'm like, woof. Right. Like you had that whole crowd almost on their feet. And I mean, you emceed for, the most recent Roanoke Beautification Day. I mean, those two opportunities that I've had, the blessing of being allowed to hear you speak, and it's powerful. And even, some of the times we're talking individually, and, I'm giving you my raw emotion, you give me feedback, and yeah, sometimes I give you a little bit of pushback, but
right. Hey, it's all good.
Right.
But the words you have to speak are immensely powerful. I think the other thing is you're way too humble because for those of you who don't know, I mean, he's got some other business ventures as well besides the ones that he mentioned. So you got a lot going for you, and you've definitely done the entrepreneurship side longer than either of us. And you have a lot of wisdom that goes along with that.
And that's why I say stay humble and you never stumble. Get cocky, you end up sloppy.
Yeah.
Right? And that is such a humbling experience that it reminds me of we are no better than the analyzation of finding out our weaknesses, taking them and turning them into opportunities to grow strength from. So I'm very focused on the fact that none of us have it all together, but when we all come together,
we become a stronger team.
That's it.
So much I've learned from you.
It.
Right.
That's it right there.
Right. It's like putting the puzzle together. And, even when you shared your story with me many years back now, but when you shared your story with me, and when I was going through the interview process for this finance company, to go into management. And one of the things that always held me back was because I used to always replay when I was younger, I had a speech impediment. But then when I heard your story, that caused me to go back and start picking up dictionaries. Like, hey, I'm not what they labeled me as. I can do this. And, once you shared your experience, that motivated me. So I do want to thank you because it motivated me, and I was able to move up and different things like that because what it was, I had more confidence. So I started getting more confidence in when I'm speaking and not thinking, of my speech impediment that I was labeled as. So thank you. Yeah. Yep, you're definitely a inspiration. You're big motivating time. And like Andrew said, you're very humbling, so and that's really good. I've learned many tips from you. So thank you.
Absolutely. It's like the more strength you draw off of others, the more you can picture your success.
Right.
The
It's
more
iron
strength you
sharpening
draw
iron.
off of others,
Iron sharpening iron.
exactly, you can picture
That's it.
success. And one of the big points right now for focus in my life, you said, as far as other business and entities that I'm involved with, being the vice president of the Southwest Virginia Diverse Chamber of Commerce, I wouldn't have even known about the Chamber of Commerce if I didn't know you all. So it's about the connection that we all have that helps us to develop and be even better than we were the day before. And to me, that is true success.
Right. That's
being better than you were the day before, and also who you wouldn't have impacted if you weren't in their life.
Right.
That is how you value. That's how you measure your success.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of times, me including myself, I mean, I'm almost like a perfectionist, and so I can get caught up in the details.
Yeah, you are. I won't go steal your thunder, but go ahead.
No, but I mean, one of my shortcomings, I can easily get caught up in the things that aren't perfect, and really not only just put down myself, but I mean, sometimes that can slow my progress in my own business, because I mean, something's not perfect. I want to fix it, but there's this bigger fire over here that I should prioritize over fixing the small little tiny thing that's, it's honestly good, but it's just not great. And I'm always chase that perfection. I think that's something that I'm starting to learn to take away from you in your life is, we're still chase that perfection, but don't let the pursuit of that perfection, override, what determines greatness, which is becoming, better than we were the day before, and recognizing those that we've impacted.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, greatness is not a point where we stop at. Greatness is an evolving adaptation to make those changes on the fly to get where you need to go.
100%.
Right? And it's not about being perfect. It's about being worth it.
Yeah,
and
like
when
that.
you find that worth, that is where you find the ability to continue your level of greatness. We have to continue to keep on setting our own bars in our lives. If we just take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism, that is what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. talked about. Tranquilizing drug of gradualism. What happens when someone gets hit with a tranquilizer? It slows down, right? Because it's like, oh, okay, I've made it. We all three agree that we've never been at a point that have made it, right? We're not going to be like, hey, I made it today. No, we're going to continue to find ways that we can better evolve and develop each other and draw strength off of each other. And that's why we ignite the truth every time we speak.
100%.
That's powerful. That's very powerful. And Andrew, I know, like, even with you on Saturday when we did the volunteer event for Beautification Day, like you're a perfectionist, and even though that was a volunteer event, you wasn't paid, you still made sure, I watched you made sure that the mulch was lined up neatly, and this dude went so hard, he passed out, got up, still was ready to work, like, no, go sit down. But
y'all were making me get down.
Right. So,
I was like, no, I can keep going. And you're like, no, sit in the car.
Right. But that definitely speaks character, for sure. It definitely speaks character, not only when you're involved in something where you're being paid for, but when you're volunteering and whatever it is, always wanting to give your best. And I think that's something with all of us now, that I see in all of us, that we want to give our best, whether, it's a paid gig or if it's volunteering, making some type of impact in the community. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Like you said earlier, legacy, leaving a legacy, leaving a positive impact, making that change in the world. And as Eric said, that's what Igniting Truth is all about. We want to ignite the truth. We want to make an impact.
Absolutely. It's all about igniting the truth. And it's about, once you use a second in life, you lose a second in life. So we are going to be here to make every second count.
Absolutely.
Every second count. Every word that we speak is going to be a word that you can take, and it's going to strengthen you. It's going to strengthen everybody that views this, listens to it, picks it up, because this is what it's about. It's about igniting that truth. And that is what we need to do in today's society. And we're all motivated and dedicated in everything that we do, especially this, to bring exactly what that is. We're going to bring that fire. We're going to make it fun.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
We're going to inspire.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to reignite.
Reignite.
and educate.
And educate. I'm gonna let you do that educate part because you be on point.
No, we're gonna do it together, brother. We're gonna do it together. Definitely.
We will bring the fire, and we just want to take the time to just thank everyone for tuning in, giving us the opportunity, coming into our lives and hearing our stories. And we're looking forward to just sharing so much more of the positive impact that we know that we can bring just based off of experience. So definitely tune in. If you have questions, definitely type your questions. Feel free to reach out to us. All the contact information will be at the bottom of this video if you're watching via YouTube. And we're looking forward to igniting truth. What you guys think?
I love it.
I love it. Bring the fire.
Awesome.
Let's get it.
Let's bring the fire.
Let's do it.
Igniting truth.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the episode. For more content like this, or to begin your own podcasting journey, head on over to obsidian-productions.com.